Check out this list. Barron, one pipe, back-to-back, joining a very big list, or short list of big names, I should say, who have gone back-to-back at that event, the holy grail of the tour. About 16 hours to Dubai, 2-hour drive to Abu Dhabi. A couple of different routes in there you could take, shaking off the jet lag, but he said it was just hard to shake off the adrenaline that kept him up after that big final with Leo Fioravanti. It will be the rookie getting started. Jackson Bunch the fourth from Ho'okipa on Maui. Riding the Glen Minami. And a lot of surfers from Hawaii get the airbrushes from Jeannie Chesser over the years. Now that she's retired, Jackson did this airbrush himself. Love the pace of his rhythm. I see Sparks of Kalani Rob, Sparks of Rob Machado in the mix. That real cool, smooth attacking style. Very explosive when he needs to be, and coils up for the reverse. He's able to hang on to a tough little step he had to get through for the finish.
I already see improvement on the wind so far. Like, as you see it on that wave, like the previous waves were on the right mostly. They're getting very fast down the line. There's a lot of chandelier breaking.
And yeah, a bit of difference in the way that the competitors are taking it on, but it's just an ability to adapt. That's what we're looking for today.
Here we go, let's get into it here. The left-hander coming through for Miguel Pupo, the goofy footer with a ton of laps, 13th season on the CT. Decent start on pipe and a decent start on this wave. He'll crack it a few times with some rangefinder maneuvers and try and park it here in the pit. Gets pretty deep. And he'll just grab the wall here, try to control and manage that speed. Sticks around, didn't completely disappear. Up into the lip line with the float. And some nice authority to these turns. Bit of release from him there. And now really looking to make the most of this hollow section. Again, finding cover, and he'll look for a finishing turn. He'll get a release from the tail. It will be incomplete. First wave done for Miguel Pupo.
I really liked it. I think already, just to sort of piggyback off the what Jesse was saying, I think that wind is sort of backing off a little bit. That was really good signs for that first wave from Miggy, and I just liked how critical and confident he looked, and he was able to stay in the pocket. And for the first opening wave, he's looking confident. So let's have a look here. And beautiful carving maneuver. He brings it all the way back around, which is really tricky to do. This wave just keeps pushing down the line without you. Can easily run off in front of you. Parks it in the tube here and gets incredibly deep. I really liked how he's really stomping on the brakes here, really trying to maximize that tube time. Comes out here and straight up into the lip to a floater, and then releases the fins on this next maneuver, really staying critical. And right here at the end, he goes to the air, gets a bit of a grab to really make sure he holds onto that board, but that just landing on top of the lip of the wave, and the wave just pushing off without him.
Not had a breakthrough result in terms of his 2 attempts in the surf ranch. Let's see how he goes here this morning. We've already been talking, Flick, about surfers really getting the warm-ups done here, but coming this morning and finding something of a different scenario. It is just surfing. Just go out and feel it and flow it. And let's see how Barron will go here as he composes himself. This train coming down the tracks and sending away for him a right-hander with a bit of crumble on it from that wind. First turn, it'll just go over a crumbly section, almost a touch sticky on his second turn. He'll look to try and pick up the pace through here before he gets into the tube section. Nice release of the tail, just express himself a bit more. Very nice indeed with that last turn, getting that release and a lot more flow to these maneuvers now, really using that crumble there with a bit of creativity and some expression. A similar sort of turn from him as he'll just cruise at this point. Now with some speeds, and he'll go into an alley-oop, just slightly over-rotated on the landing. Maybe he was hoping to land a little higher up on that wave, kind of landed mid-face and goes down, Flick.
What I really liked about that wave is his ability to adapt. I guess, like Connor spoke to it, you know, everything that we'd seen the last 4 days just kind of went out the window. This wind has sort of really kicked up, but Barron just obviously, you know, the barrel on the right, it's not really doing it right now, but the way that he was able to read those couple of sections and really maximize the turns and stay critical. Let's have a look here. So this is right on the inside here, goes to the air, and I mean, gets that rotation there, but it's just, oh, that board too, he sticks it, right? But as he comes down, that bottom section cups out so much more than I think what you expect. And
I think there will be a little bit of an element as well. If surfers will feel they maybe try and make amends towards the end of a wave and push real hard, which is exciting. But obviously, if you fall, well, that's going to cost you as well. Turning attentions back now to Jackson Bunch. Comes from a steamed line of Jackson Bunches. He's Jackson Bunch the 4th. And he's looked very good indeed in terms of the practice there. We kind of like sort of pick people out, don't we, and think they're a good match for the wave. His energy seems very well suited. Let's see how it will go here. This time on the left, so facing the wave for the rookie, Adam Maui, and an absolutely electric surfer. Here he goes. First turn is very loose indeed. Just nice and sprightly and light on his feet. Good amplitude to his maneuvers. And then he'll try and park it here. Get himself in the tube, nicely poised. Just kind of pokes out and then goes back in again, gets a little deeper. And then now looking out to go on the attack into the lip, just airdrops back down. He'll tag it again. And then this section here is where most of the score will come. Generally, these maneuvers back into another tube. He gets in late and he gets one big pump. And that is how you get a big score, is getting super deep, disappearing in that tube. But of course, the other side of that, if you get too deep, Flick, you're going complete.
Yeah, everything up until that moment was going really well for Jackson. I love his approach. I mean, we got the ability the last couple of days, to see these guys warming up and the women as well. And I was, loving the way Jackson was surfing. Let's have a look here. So at the beginning of this wave, I was thinking, okay, he's really having the ability to, he's just staying super tight and critical in the pocket. The barrel ride here, super deep. You can see how it just wants to push you out of the barrel, but he does a really good job at stomping on the brakes, maximizing that tube time. Comes out here and I think gets up in the lip, and I think it's this second turn here. Oh no, sorry, it's this next one, right? So he goes up into the lip and he actually ends up releasing the fins, if this is the turn I'm thinking about, and he goes super critical, right? Almost like a grind across the face of this wave, but this is actually the turn that sort of set him back because it was so critical. He got on the back foot, the wave keeps running, he's trying to catch up and get in the barrel here. So look at this, he's playing catch up and just the entry into the barrel a little bit late, and that thing is a freight train, literally. It runs off without you and just getting that little bit too deep. You've got to think so, right? I mean, the more reps on the board, the more times you can replicate this situation, the better. But for the, you got to think for your rookies and people who haven't had this experience, even at Surf Ranch before, this is going to be pretty daunting.
Let's see how Miguel Pupo can go here. He's got an amazing backhand attack. He'll need to use it right now to avoid elimination by finishing first in this heat. That's the job of work facing him as he'll open up. Just cleaning up those rails with some work done outside. Little float section. And then traditionally that would be a tube right now, but just because of the crumble this morning, it's turned into a steeper turn section. And he'll just join up the dots here. A little bit of crumble allows him to push hard on that back foot. Really nice. He'll hammer that one. Big spray from him. And then just prodding it up for the float lip line maneuver. Now he'll go grab the rail and try and park it inside the tube. Doesn't get super deep. And perhaps feeling that he needed to do a little bit more push in. And he complete on the end for Miguel.
Yeah, as we see Adriana on screen there, but Coach just breaking that one down. But I think he knew it himself. You could kind of see that frustration a little bit towards the end, knowing, okay, I've really got to push it here on this last turn, this steeper section. I think he knew he was maybe a little bit out on the face of where he wanted to be. And you could see him sort of reading the wave and trying to adapt to, just the difference of not having the barrel section there on the right.
And that's going to be tough. So that's the carrot available. Just a chance to sit that round out. Right now we're having a look at the yellow jersey. It's Barron Mamiya waiting for his left to come to him. Got a 5-point ride for his opening wave. Let's see how he goes here on the backhand. 25-year-old, of course, with that statement performance, the big win over on the North Shore at home. And here he goes with his opening work, and he'll try and find some cover here, grabbing the rail and getting behind the curtain. Mamiya stalling, parking it, staying there. Gets real deep. And again, so a couple of sections of dynamic tube for him. And now onto the turns, this steep section. And he'll look to try and get a couple done, and again, making himself real small, compact in the barrel, and finishing by blowing out the tail and reverting back. And a little golf clap from them.
I really love that wave. I think it just speaks to Barron's expertise, right? I mean, grabbing the rail in the backhand, we just saw it literally a week ago at Pipe. Obviously, very different conditions in the ocean, but he's like a cat in there. He can really maneuver. He's totally in control. In my opinion, I mean, let's have a look here. So, couple of turns here on the backhand, gets underway. You can really see him just setting up. This turn here really places him in the right spot that he wants to be in when he sets up his tube. But his control and ability and read right now is the best we've seen, in my opinion. I think just look at how much he's stalling and really using that whole side of his body to maximise that tube time. I mean, probably the longest tube we've seen this morning, and then backs it up with 2 nice cracks on the backhand, and then once again on the inside here, just super deep, getting nice and barreled. Yeah, just really well done. Just that whip that he gets, the whip as he comes out of this last, little reverse here on this inside gives you a good indication of how much energy this wave is sort of giving back, because, I mean, his fins grip and he just gets spun straight back around. There's one thing that I noticed yesterday, this pool has a lot of push.
Yeah, it's just after breakfast time, 8:15 local time here in Abu Dhabi. And it's time to get on the tools right now. Just clear that headspace to go to work. Here goes Jackson Bunch for his right-hander. Second backhand wave for him. First turn gives it plenty with the back foot, releasing that tail. Just see how electric and how much spark there is to these maneuvers. And then this time, we'll find a hollow section and he'll get in it. Crazy deep. A little bit of crumble here, so just pacing things a bit. And then gives that a good old crack. And then losing the back foot there, and maybe just making a late decision, slightly snatching at that maneuver a touch, Flick.
Yeah, I agree. I think he pushed it pretty hard, and you could see it too. I mean, he wanted to release the fins, and maybe, I'm just guessing, he's sort of taking the fact, okay, how's the beginning of this ride going? Like, what do I actually need here? Let's push it a bit more. And obviously coming unstuck. It's really hard to read, obviously, this right. I mean, let's have a look. So gets up into the lip, gets that nice release there, carves it back around, and then he brings it through to the inside. You can see him just adjusting here, stomping on those brakes. But that turn there, he was like, okay, I'm going to give it some. Let's give it some. Let's put a little bit more mayo on it. But really, really coming unstuck. And I think it's just a hard thing to read right now and to adapt to this morning, because there's that main barrel section on the right, it's not doing it. So having to adjust your speed and figuring out, okay, where am I going to place these turns? How does this feel? Round 2. Let's go. I'll keep you honest today.
All right, here goes Pupo. On a left and snapping off the top and making room for himself at the bottom of the wave to get some crisp, sharp, authoritative maneuvers done. Lip line and then down into this tube section. It will just cup out for him. He'll use that hand in the face as a gauge and try and slow himself down. Doesn't get that last section super deep, but a really nice opened up carve and then a vicious snap from Miguel. Again going into that lip. And now look to try and get nice and deep, which he'll do here. Completely disappears. Pupo, deep cover and too deep. And he'll go down again.
Wow, the beginning of that wave, I mean, it just had a good feeling to it, right? For me, I was enjoying it. There was variety there. Just the way he was really able to whip it back on a couple of those carving maneuvers right to that critical section. I thought he was definitely coming out of that inside tube, just got that bit too deep, but just beautiful technique there. I love that release of the fins and just that redirect of the nose all the way back to the foam. Just shows how critical he is in that, that really deep section of the wave. And this is the inside here, so you can see he's got his front arm on the front of his board, really trying to push that momentum forward. But this wave is just looking so fast. I mean, he's in there for quite a good time. But
so there's Mamiya's numbers from the Lexus Pipe Pro. 3 excellent heats, and I tell you what, you get equal points, right, for all CT wins. But that one is going to sit pretty big in the memory banks as well, getting away just from stats, but just thinking about status, how incredible that was, and what a final. Flick, you were over there.
Oh, to go back-to-back at any event is hard, but to go back-to-back at Pipe, even harder. And, I mean, probably his dream event to be able to do that at.
Well, He'll look to try and bring confidence from that over here to Surf Abu Dhabi. Here he goes, Barron Mamiya, #1 in the world right now, looking great in yellow and going all right in the opening section on his right. Really nice wraps done by him. That trademark style, really cool. Gonna put it in the tube here. Come out and get hold of it with a big old crack. It stays hit for a while, that section. So really nice work done through this middle part of the wave. There's the variety, the ball control is really on point. They're just trying to tidy things up here for a ramp, which he'll get. He'll go the alley-oop and he'll get it done. So big amplitude, put himself out on the face for the landing. He'll get a couple more turns done. He'll just try a finner to finish, but really good damage done there, and that looks like it'll be his best score.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting, right, as we break this one down, because you could really see that he's just sort of analysing as he's surfing that wave. All right, like, I'm going to really put it on. This is my last right. I'm going to put it on the line here. You could see him adjust halfway through, really. Let's break this down from this barrel section. So comes out of that barrel, up into the lip, just negotiating this tricky little section, and you get that real big coping that we're getting from that wind. It's providing really easy to release the fins, actually. That's definitely a positive from that. You can see him stomp on the brakes here. He's eyeing up this last section. He's like, I'm going to the air. He sticks it, and let's have another look. Goes for that alley-oop there, and I mean, that board almost, you could just see the wind, how much it really is affecting the board, but good job to regain there. Gets control. But I'm interested to see where this goes.
Major maneuvers will be key to unlocking significant scores here. Jackson Bunch there, working on the backflip. Let's see if he, or indeed anyone else, will be able to get a maneuver like that done here at Surf Abu Dhabi. Here he goes on the lefts. Jackson Bunch. This will be his 4th wave in this opening round heat. Nice and crisp to kick off. Just really nice flow as he recovers from his turns and gathers momentum into the next. Now in the tube. That first section, you don't need to rush to get super deep, it feels like, from what we've seen already. Won't go crazy deep on that particular section. He'll come out and into the lip. Once again, just stinging that board into the lip. And now looking for a big ramp section. He'll find it. Massive alley-oop rotation from him. And then a nice power slash to slide as well. And again, another pop done to finish as well. The finger flick. He's feeling it.
Oh, you would be after that. I feel like that was giant. That was really big. It was really well done. And, I mean, he knew. He's like, okay, let's put it all on the line here. That was a giant air critical section. You could see him lining it up. And he landed so smoothly. So, interesting to see. I mean, you know, we saw Barron go to the air and he got a 6.23 on his last wave. I mean, where's this one going to go? Let's have a look here. So beautiful critical surfing, really tight and really accelerates out of that pocket, out of the lip, and in the barrel. You can see it wants to push you out, but he does a really good job at slowing down, maximising that time. This is that last air we're talking about. I mean, he got some height there. You could see the tail got pretty high. And then he also got a little bit of bonus work done here on the end as well. But let's have another look. Just beautiful rotation. You can see how high that tail got. And then just lands super smoothly. Silky smooth. Into that carving manoeuvre. Puts it on rail. Gets a bit of fin release there. And this little bonus section here at the end. Just having fun with it. So, yeah, I really liked that last wave.
Is what he's after here. He's a pretty cool, calm and collected character. Let's see how he'll go surfing towards that score on his backhand. First turn, gives it a hit. Just setting up, staying super close to the pocket with these opening maneuvers. And then it'll be time for a bit of cover. Barron grabbing that rail. And that pig dog stance, just parking it. Not crazy deep. But a nice hollow cupped out section, and then a big hammer as soon as he came out, puts it up again and converts. And particularly with that last left, that big score coming in for Bunch, the 7.33, and really very well deserved to get the win.
Super well deserved, and it doesn't surprise me